Lori was awoken by a smell of vanilla with the hints of cinnamon. She felt at the bed next to her. She frowned slightly when Bobby was nowhere to be found. Her body ached from the weight of her swollen abdomen. Her baby was moving around, kicking from the inside. She stirred as she felt a familiar sensation in her pelvis. Her bladder was full. She slowly sat up at the weight shifting into her lower half. The girl rubbed her eyes and she could barely see her siblings around in the room, pounding on the bathroom door. It was a pleasant surprise to see that a note card had been sitting on her on their bedside table. She picked it up and smiled as she read its contents. "Good morning, babe. I wanted to be the first one to wish you a happy birthday. You were sleeping so peacefully, and I know it's hard for you to get that recently. I didn't want to wake you. I'm downstairs hanging out with your siblings. I'll be up to check on you soon. Love, Bobby." His notes was soon enough to make her heart skip a beat. It also distracted her from her task at hand, listening to her mother nature. She used her hands to push herself off the bed within a few moments. It had been more difficult to walk. The baby had dropped at least a week or two ago, and now that she had to waddle, and she made it over to her bathroom and opened the door to reveal Lola, Lynn, Lincoln, and Luna standing in front of the bathroom. They turned to look at her. "Good morning, Lori," each of them said. "Good morning, guys," she replied. "Already fighting for the bathroom, I see." "Yeah, Lainey's been in there for almost a half an hour," Lincoln replied, putting his hand on his hip. Lori sighed. "Let me go see." Her roommate was known to waste time in the bathroom, and she gets distracted by organizing the soaps or mess up, except I have to redo her smoky eye. She peered inside in the bathroom to see Lenny folding a towel. She tried her hardest not to roll her eyes. "Lenny!" she yelled as she stepped inside. Her sister's sudden outburst caused Lenny to stop and drop the towel she was folding. She then turned around to see Lori standing there. "Lori, you scared me," she said, readjusting the sunglasses on her head. "Lenny, there are other people out here that need to use the bathroom too," Lori told her, "including me. I have a baby sitting on my bladder." The tizzy girl twisted her foot and on the ground. "Oh, I'm sorry," she said. "I guess I'll come back later and fix these." "Sounds good," Lori said. The girl stepped out of the bathroom. "There we go. Problem solved," she said, rubbing her hands together. She took a look at the siblings. "Sorry to do this, guys, but I'm cutting in front of all of you." They began to complain. She said, wagging her finger. "I'm the oldest, it's my birthday, and I'm pregnant, so please let me pee." She unclosed the door in their faces and began to pout away. It was quickly ignored as her main focus was her sweet relief. Lori pulled down her shorts and panties and then sat down on the toilet. She sighed as she felt her bladder emptying. In the Loud House, there was always been a fight to the bathroom, and even her being almost 9 months pregnant didn't stop her siblings from rushing to their morning business. "Hey, are you almost done?" "Aw, come on, I ate too much last night, and Mother Nature doesn't like it." Ignoring their siblings' complaints more, she reached down for the roll of toilet paper. "Hey guys, it's her birthday, remember? And she's pregnant. But can't she make her baby pee faster? I gotta go!" She laughed at the last comment and wiped herself, although she had stopped when she noticed she felt a bit off. She brought it through to look at the wad of toilet paper that was covered in mucus. Not thinking much of it, she proceeded to throw it in the toilet and flushed it. Then she grabbed the top of her panties and then her shorts and then pulled it up. She then felt a sharp pain in her pelvis. Her eyes squinted at the feeling, but it soon went away, allowing her to finish pulling up her pants. She walked over to the sink and washed her hands and then placed her hand on the doorknob. "Okay guys, I'm coming out," she said as she turned the doorknob and then pushing the door slightly. "Finally!" Luna exclaimed as she ran to the bathroom. "Oh, and happy birthday, Lori." "Oh yes, it's her birthday. Her 19th birthday to be exact." It was to say that she always looked forward to it for a while. She had plans to go off to college and live with her boyfriend. That would have to wait, as she was expected to give birth in a month. She would never thought that she would be at the beginning of her semi-adulthood. Well, of course she's 19 now, but it wasn't all that bad. Lori placed a hand on her back. "Thanks, Luna," she said. "Now if you excuse me, the baby is really pressing down on me, so I need to go sit." She then turned to her right and opened the door and walked over to her bed. The pain came back, this time a bit stronger. It stopped in her tracks and she took a moment to breathe. It passed allowed her to receive the gift that awaited for her on the bed. It was a small gift bag that had a card that read, "To Lori from Lenny," a nice warmth written next to Lenny's name. She then smiled and sat down on her bed, leaning up against the pillow for support. Using her belly as a prop, she sat it down and reached for the hand on the inside. Inside was a blue shirt with ruffles on it and a pair of white pants. Sitting in this bag to the side, she laid a shirt on top of hers and her belly began to jump around, causing her shirt to slide off. You don't like it, baby? She poked her stomach, receiving a kick to her hand. This went on for a few minutes until she heard the door open. Hey, babe. She looked over to see Bobby standing in the doorway. He then walked over to her and gave her a kiss. Happy birthday. She caressed her face. Thanks, Boo-Boo Bear. Her boyfriend put a hand on her belly. How's the baby today? Very, very active, she said. Watch this. She poked her stomach and watched as it jumped. Bobby laughed. Wow, he said as he poked it and got a kick back as well. Just you wait until you eat some of that cake. Her body wasn't going to give her much time to support as a sharp pain came back. She winced as she placed both her hands on her stomach. Bobby kneeled down next to her, placing a hand on top of hers. Oh no, is it time? Do we need to go to the hospital? He became frantic. No, she said, breathing heavily. It's just Braxton Hicks. She pointed at the bottle of water next to her bed. Can you hand me that? He then gave it to her and then took a few drinks and the pain subsided. She then sighed. Thanks, Bobby. Bobby rubbed her hair. No problem, Lori. He then stood back up and reached out for her hand. Your dad is making cake and wants you to come try it. She then grabbed his hand and helped her up. The couple then headed towards downstairs, and Lori went to the kitchen. She stood in the doorway and watched her father dance around, humming to himself. She laughed as he turned around. Good morning, sweetie, he said, walking over to give her a kiss on the cheek. Happy birthday. Thanks, Dad, she said. Where's that cake? He led her to the counter where there was a large glass pan nearby. I'm making the famous cheesecake, strawberry to be exact because I know it's your favorite. Lori's mouth watered at the stare of the leftover filling at the front of her. She grabbed it and wiped some onto her finger. The sweetness licking her tongue made her hit her mouth. She said. I knew you would love it, Lynn Sr. said. Watch as her belly began to move again. Apparently my grandbaby does so. She then looked down and sure enough the baby was kicking away. They have been doing that all morning, she said. She then placed the bowl back on the counter. There it was again. Letting out a small groan, she grabbed onto the counter and her father looked concerned as his face wrinkled out in pain. Are you alright? He asked as she rubbed her back. I'm fine, she said. I've just been getting these since this morning. Are you sure? He asked. Where is it hurting? She placed his hand on top of her pelvis, right there. I know this isn't what I want to hear today, but we may need to take you to the hospital, Lynn Sr. said, growing more concerned. I'll cancel the party. She waved out her hands. No, I'm fine, Lori insisted. I still want my party, he sighed. Lori, I've been through this 10 times with your mother, and I know how fast I can escalate. If we wait too long, he paused, the baby may be born in the way Lincoln was. Dad, please, I'm fine, she said, standing straight up. They're not super strong, and the doctor said not to come in unless I can't handle the pain. She then stepped back. Okay, I'll let this slide this time, but please let me know if it gets too bad. I will, don't worry. Go on and join your siblings at the table for breakfast, he said, getting back to the cake. I made French toast. Well, thank goodness, she said, her mouth watering. I'm so hungry. She then headed to the dining room where the rest of the siblings were and Bobby were seated. She then chose a seat between her boyfriend and Lily, who had already covered the top of the high chair in tray and syrup. The toddler was giggling happily as she blasted her hands on it. Lori then grabbed her hand. Lily, she said, grabbing a small plastic fork. You need to eat with this. Lily grabbed it from her and inspected it, then using her hands to grip the different angles. Finally, she used to stab a piece of toast and then shoved it into her mouth. Aw, good girl, little sister, Luna said as she sat from her seat. She then held up her hands to her baby sister. High five! The baby happily slapped her big sister's hand, leaving a trail of sticky syrup. Luna quickly grabbed a napkin and wiped it off. They heard a door close and they looked to see Mommin walking in the door. She came into the dining room and kissed Lori's hair. Happy birthday, Lori, she said. Thanks, Mom, she responded. Look what I got Lily to do. Rita can see that Lily was using her spork. Oh, yay, Lily! She then went up to the toddler. Be careful, Mom, or you will not want to end up in this sticky situation, Luann said, laughing. Get it? The rest of the siblings groaned. Rita gave Lily a high five anyway. Mama, Mama, she said, reaching out her hands. Her mom wiped off her hands and then took her from the high chair. I'll go get Lily cleaned up. When you kids are done eating, can you come and help me set up, okay? All the kids nodded and went back to their breakfast. After she ate, Lori decided to go to the living room. Maybe as she propped her feet on with a cold of glass of ice water, the pain would go away. She rested her head on the end of the couch, and Bobby walked in with a glass of water. Here you go, babe, he said. Thanks, she said, grabbing it and taking a sip. He sat next to her, and let her legs rest on top of his lap, grabbing the remote, and he turned on to the latest episode of Dreamboat. Oh man, I've been waiting forever to watch this one. Me too, she said. I hope Merida finally sees that Blake isn't the right one for her. He then shook his head. I doubt it. She still seems to love him. She then nodded her head in agreement. Oh, tell me about it. Through the episode, she hadn't noticed anything. She hadn't been rubbing her belly the entire time. It was just an instinct at this point. Bobby then smiled when he saw it and placed his hand on top of hers. I do it too, he said. Lori then laid her head back. When did your family say they were going to get here? He then took out his phone. Ronnie Ann told me that they were leaving about 30 minutes ago. So it'll be a while then, huh? She said. She then watched as the wave of siblings came downstairs, carrying various objects, and such as streamers and balloons, and each one of them standing to the door, presumably to help decorate it. I love it that they would be so surprised, Lori said to Bobby. It's like everything in my life is literally a surprise now, one after the other. He laughed. Yeah, but it's kind of cool, right? Yeah, I guess so, she said. You know what else would be cool? When this baby finally leaves my body, it's so hard to move. Oh, I'm sorry, he said. It won't be much longer, she sighed. Thank goodness, I'll be happy when I can finally put on my own shoes again. They laughed. I think it's about time you go get ready, huh? She then put the water on the table and sat up, grabbing her hands to help her stand, and led her upstairs. Lincoln chewed the lid on his pen and then looked at the checklist. Okay, so the streamers are up. We got the balloons, the table, chairs. He then looked around. Where are the snacks? Lana walked up with a bag of chips in her hands. Her face was covered in powdered cheese. I got some cheesy puffs, she said with a mouthful. He then checked something off the list. Why don't you go put the rest of the bag on the table? The girl nodded and then went on her own way. How's it going, Linky? Linny said, looking over his shoulder. It's going good. I got Lana setting out the chips as Luann has the dip, and Luna is helping Mom wrap the presents. Oh, good, she said, patting him on the back. You're a natural at this. The boy smiled. Thanks. I learned from the best. Lori's birthday party may not seem interesting, but there was so much to go when you're very pregnant. She also liked the idea of going out to eat with her friends and family, but sitting outside in the cool spring air eating cheesecake sounded pretty good to her right now. It was hard for her to move or sleep, and so she would always wanted something that was more comfortable while still having fun with her family. Here it is, Lynn Sr. said as he entered the backyard with a large pan of cheesecake in his hands. The kids watched and they sat on the table. A few of them reached out to touch it, were immediately smacked away. No, come on guys, he said. You know the rules. It's Lori's birthday, so she gets to eat first. Speaking of Lori, where is she? Lucy added. Well, I'm here. They looked to see a hand sticking out of the crack of the screen door. Helping me, Bobby. They heard a scuffle and the door opened. Lori stepped out onto the porch wearing the outfit that Linny had gotten her. Her hair had been straightened slightly and she had been wearing a bit of lip gloss. Linny clapped her hands and jumped down. Oh, you look so pretty, Lori, she said, running up to her. She hugged her sister back. Thanks, Lenny. I literally love it. Bobby smiled and then went over to look at her mom. Oh, hey, Miss Loud, he said. I've got something important to tell you. She then turned around, raised an eyebrow. What is it? My family said that they're going to be late, but I don't want Lori to sit out there for too long. He gripped his hand with giving it a squeeze. So is it okay for we can have the cheesecakes and the snacks right now, then open presents when they get there? Rita looked at her husband, who nodded. Sounds good to me. He looked at his daughters. What do you think? That's fine, she said. Now I know the kids are with the snacks. She pointed at her younger siblings, who all had a bag of chips. Kids, please, Lynn Sr. said. Save some for everyone else. She laughed. It's fine, Dad, she said, waving her hand down. Chips give me a heartburn anyway. Lori, will you pour me a cup of soda? Lana asked, holding a cup. Sure, she then poured over the table, grabbing the bottle of cola. Anyone else want some? Her siblings lined up and handed them each a cup of cola. Cola, Lily said, holding her sippy. Lori looked down at her mom. Can she have some? Well, she usually keeps her up late, she said. But it's your party, so you can go for it. Lori then grabbed the cup from her baby sister's hands and filled it up with soda, then handed it to her. There you go, baby. The toddler happily stuck the cup in her mouth, toddling off where her sisters were. Lori felt the pain in her back, causing her to lean against the table. She tried to stand up straight by placing a hand on her back and breathing heavily. She walked over her to her seat and sitting down next to Bobby. He frowned when he saw that the less pained expression on her face and placed a hand around her shoulders. Are you sure you're okay, babe? He asked. Yeah, I'm fine, she said. It's going away now. Okay, guys, they all turned to the front to see Luann was standing. I have some fun tricks to play with for you all. They all inspired by today's special guest, my big sister, Lori. Happy birthday. She smiled at the sister's gesture and clapped her hands. Luann then took out a bag. Just give me a moment to gather my things. They watched as they fumbled around in her bag, pulling out various objects. Lori was having a pretty good day already. Despite her constant stomach issues, she enjoyed seeing her siblings spending time together, laughing, eating chips. Her thoughts were interrupted when a sudden feeling of wetness in her pants. She looked down to see a small puddle forming her feet. A clear stain was on her brand new pants. Lola gasped as she saw a trail of liquid coming out towards her on the ground. Ew, Lana, did you pee out here again? Her twin responded with shaking her head. No, Lola. That was not Lana, Lori said in a shaky voice. It was me. Her siblings turned to look at her. And that wasn't pee, she said. She stood up holding her stomach. I think my water just broke. There were a couple of gasps and she felt Robbie grab her. She then turned to him and his eyes were wide and there were in a sweat on his forehead and his hands were shaky. You sure it did? He asked in his voice shaky. She grabbed his hand. Yes, Bobby. I mean it when I say that this baby wants to come now. He lifted up, holding her breast. Well, then let's go have a baby. He then began to run out to his car, and the siblings followed closely behind her. They were stopped by Lori as they made their way to the kitchen. Okay, you guys will all need to stay here with Mom and Dad and help clean this up, she said, trying to catch her breath. Meet us at the hospital when you're done. But Lori, Lincoln said. No buts, she said. We'll call you when we get there. Lenny then gave her a hug. Good luck, Lori, she said. All the other siblings joined in, giving her wishes. Their parents caught up to them, joining in the hug as well. Then they pulled away and Lori spoke. Mom, I want you to come with me. She then rubbed her daughter's hair. I'd love nothing more. Bobby then turned to Lincoln. Hey, little buddy, will you text Ronnie Ann and tell her what's going on? The boy nodded, quickly taking out his phone. On it. Len Sr. stepped back. All right, kids, you hear her. Let's get this all cleaned. He looked at his kids as they frantically began putting everything away. The bag chips flying in the air, cup of soda getting spilled. Don't touch the cake, he yelled, running after them. Well, I'll see you soon, kiddos. Good luck, he said, before heading out to the backyard. Lincoln gave his sister one last hug. Good luck, sis, he said, kissing her cheek. You'll do great. She then smiled and rubbed his hair. Thanks, little bro, she said as she turned to Bobby. Well, come on then. Let's go and have a baby.